The team up co-star in this one is being teased as Adam Watson, but it really is Eve Watson. And I realise I have fucked up. I used to call her Quiznos, but I started calling her Eve Watson in this story arc. But that is okay, because the character has changed her name like 6 times in the comics. So me suddenly changing her name is an accurate reflection of the character. This is Marvel 2 for 163, and I love this cover. I think this is a great cover by O.A. Pere. It has been in my line of sight when I've been doing the covers videos for a while, but I always decide against including it because nearly every one of them videos has a O.A. Pere cover on it. The story here concerns the Digivolutionary. He is a Marvel character who is sometimes a villain, but usually sits on the fence. He is mostly interested in science. He is a really good character. One of my favourites, actually. Most people recognise him from the Mostly Awful crossover based around him in the 80s, which this story with him actually ends up being used as some of his motivation in that crossover, because he has learned that someone has stolen his artificial planet, which he created in Adam Watson's original series. We have a bunch of characters tagging along here. Thing, obviously, is the main star of this book. We also have his girlfriend, Kerry Washington. She is there. We have Eve Watson, who a lot of this adventure has and is driven around. She set out in search of her mate, Adam Watson, and they have all wound up getting involved in this other thing now. We have Star-Lord from the original Galactical Guardians. And of course, we have beautiful bald lady, Moon Garden. Now they are trying to learn who has claimed and moved the planet halfway across the galaxy. And this is Marky Mark writing. So we have a workforce of cosmic repo men. Their job is as like handymen for cosmic stuff. Like they are the cosmic equivalent of furniture movers. And they were the ones who transported and delivered the planet for someone else. One of these actually appeared in Adam Watson Series 2. The main one here we saw in passing in one issue of Jim Starman's run. And Marky Mark has gone and added all this stuff about removal men. We also get another case of Marky Mark resolving loose ends from that series, because there was one issue that ended with Adam Watson growing massive, and he was like the size of a solar system, but it was kind of just ignored in the next issue. So then the Digivolutionary, he sets off in search of the cosmic entities that have captured his planet. They are called the Beyonders, and they were later retconned into being related to Beyonder Man, and I never cared about that. The idea is that they have taken his planet to put on display in a museum of cosmic oddities, and seeing his creation of life being reduced to a joke by the Beyonders, it emotionally destroys the Digivolutionary. But every time I read this story, I am disappointed when I realise that that part of it is not actually in these 3 issues. It was a retcon inserted in Marky Mark's Digivolutionary Originy series during that crossover. The other heroes achieve what they set out to do, which is visit the gravesite of Adam Watson, and here Eve Watson uses her powers to resurrect them, but then she realises that this revived Adam Watson has no soul, so she returns him to his eternal rest. We have some nice resolution to that story strand, but I really am disappointed that Digivolutionary stuff isn't in this. That bit where he sees his planet among this weird museum and he kind of breaks down, that is amazing, and I think I always think of this 3-parter fondly because of that bit that isn't even in it. But the story did have Moongarden getting spanked, so it's not a total loss. It is a fun excuse to send Thing into outer space and dust off some cosmic characters and fix some stuff from Adam Watson's series. I am really bummed out that we didn't have that bit in it though. I'll give it a 7 thumbs up, but it would have been a 7 thumbs up if that was there. Here we go. It was the backup feature in the Avengers annual, which was also the best part of that crossover. We see this story being recapped, and here we get stuff we didn't see, which is the Digivolutionary discovering the Beyonders. That there was our only glimpse at these Beyonders until Jonathan Huckleberry retconned them. And here we have his planet among other weird planets. And he is so sad. I feel without this, the Digivolutionary stuff doesn't have an appropriate resolution in the Marvel 2-for-1 story. But maybe it is the case that I read this here before I read that one, so I always thought of this as being part of that story, despite it being a retcon with new information that came years later. But yeah, it is used to explain why he does a turn as a villain in that crossover.